Man, this fucking bear season is really getting... Oh, I did it again, Gabe.
Oh, you started you're both on one mic. Jacob does this thing where he puts himself on both channels and he records. It's a podcast, not a Jacob cast.
Well, to be fair, I mean, you weren't talking.
Well, to be fair.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't make that mistake.
I mean, sure. I thought, I don't know. I don't know why. Anyway. Yeah, man, football season. Ugh.
Football season's over. The
So-
best
It's feeling like it's...
Bring Me the Horizon song ever. When I used to make out with Medusa. For Stevie Wonder's Eyes Only.
Sure.
Tell Slater not to wash his dick.
Okay.
Classics.
Sure. Absolutely, they're classics. Oh, man. Should I crack a window?
I don't know. You gonna fart in here?
I already did.
Oh, yeah, then you can crack a window.
Hold on.
Ladies and gentlemen, he is cracking the window.
It's right here, though, so it's not
Okay, let's see if he breaks anything. Okay, blinds are going up unevenly, but they're going up regardless.
True.
Locks are coming undone, and window is up. No bones have been broken. No skin has been cut. Ladies and gentlemen, he did it.
I mean...
Welcome our window opening champion. Hang on, he has yet to knock something over.
Yeah.
We might still have a window here.
There's still time. All right. Gabe.
Yeah.
You ready?
Oh, yeah.
What is going on, guys? Welcome to the Second City Kids podcast, episode number 137.
We got 137 on deck today.
Oh, yeah. And we are back on a beautiful day on the south side of Chicago, Illinois.
That fall weather, man. I love that shit.
It's perfect, man. It's beautiful. It was like ugly and rainy yesterday. I mean, I like it, but, you know.
The wives don't.
Well, Adriana does. But the thing is like, I'm glad I cleaned out my my gutters this summer.
Because they would have gotten way worse.
Yeah, it would have got brutal up there, you know. There's still, because I think you mentioned it before, how there's like a dip in my gutter, so it still pours over a little bit just due to the the dip, but it's not like overflowing like violently like it was earlier in the year. So
Cut the weeds out.
yeah, it's good stuff. But yeah, man, we are back. Gabe, how was your week, buddy?
Good. Won some stuff at bingo.
Oh,
Talked with some Goose Island guys. I didn't win the goddamn neon sign, which was like the grand prize. I wanted that one the most, but oh well. I got a nice beanie and a baseball tee, so
okay.
I can't complain.
So you went to a Goose Island sponsored bingo event?
Bingo night, yeah.
Okay, where was that
Pretty
at?
Cool. It's at Open Bottle in Tilling Park.
Oh,
So it's really cool because they'll do like penny pours. So after somebody calls bingo, they'll roll another ball, and if you have that beer on your card, you get a pint of it for a penny.
oh, that's cool.
So the bingo card's laid out like they have 5 companies like Goose Island, Founders, and a couple of others, and then the rows going down are different beers from that company.
Okay,
And so it's just beer bingo. It's cool.
very cool, excellent. So you brought it up because you said you did you apply for an IT spot? Is that something that you were?
No. I went in there asking how their IT team looks, but
that's
it's
what it was.
remote.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're remote from St. Louis.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, I ain't moving down there.
Yeah, definitely not.
As much as I like Knocked Loose.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, man. Yeah, we're back, man. For me, it was like I guess kind of an abbreviated week, but not really. I worked 4 days, but 10 hours every day. So
I got you.
it's not exactly abbreviated.
Did you guys have off, what is that, Columbus Day?
Nope.
No?
No such thing as holidays. Not anymore.
Cool.
But I work Saturdays now. So, which is why I prefer to do this a little bit later, which is why we've been doing them later. But yeah, man, we are back, and we got some stuff to go through today.
Good shit. So let's talk about Rise of Skywalker final trailer. What is with us in making really good like Star Wars predictions? Because we talked about how the final fight should be like a contrast to the Mustafar fight, how it should be on an oceanic planet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, knocked that one out of the fucking park, huh?
Well, I think we had some footage at that point when we were kind of like, oh yeah, that should probably be where.
Glimpses.
Yeah.
But this is like confirmed.
Yeah, we see them ready to go. So we want to give like overall thoughts. I'm assuming we're not going to be like dive too deeply because every time we do that, we write a better movie.
Yeah. I think the trailer looks good. Disney knows what they're doing. There's nothing to kind of abjugate here with them dropping a crappy trailer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I'm still treading lightly. It does look good. I like kind of some of the ideas they presented. I'm looking forward to that final fight between Kylo and Rey.
Yeah.
And it looks like they've added a Phasma replacement in the poster that looks like a female version of Boba Fett in shinier armor.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that quite yet.
Yeah. That was a little weird. Yeah, I mean, I watched it on the big screen when it happened, when it debuted on Monday Night Football last week. And, I watched it and I enjoyed it. It definitely brings feelings of closure, nostalgia, obviously. And I'm looking forward to seeing what's next. There was a lot of interesting little clips in there. They are very deliberate with what they put in. They had Kylo with the mask and then without. In the trailer, it looks like they had like a Darth Vader shrine that was getting broken. They gave us a little bit of Palpatine's chair.
Yeah, and some more of his voiceover dialogue.
Yep. The line was, "Finally, your coming together will be your undoing," he said, which I thought was a pretty good line. Especially the way it was, maybe because it was the trailer, but the way it was kind of paced out made it seem like, it was like his part of a plan, but maybe it's not his plan. Maybe something else is going on.
Sure. I'm still kind of curious how they're going to incorporate him without ruining him. Or I guess they can still ruin him, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So overall, my opinions on the trailer are pretty positive. And yeah, man, there's just a lot of neat little stuff. Like in seeing Lando back involved with all of this stuff. Excited to see him ready to go. I'm just interested, I'm just interested in all of this stuff. And, kind of scared.
Yeah, it's 6 weeks to go.
Yeah, man, that's closing in on fast. It's actually kind of crazy how quickly this year went by.
I was telling Manny, I was like, can you believe it's already November?
Just about, yeah.
I mean, we got till Friday. Friday's November 1st.
Yeah, that's a little crazy.
Yeah. It's wild, man.
And then, December.
Friday's the day to hit Spirit because everything's going to be on clearance.
Absolutely. But yeah, man, Star Wars looks good. Like I said, I don't want to get too crazy in depth because every time.
Star Wars always looks good. It's just, will it deliver this time?
This is true.
So, and it was stated that they have at the moment, they have no future plans of continuing mainline movies.
Okay.
At the moment.
Well, that's the marketing behind it. It's like, oh, finally this epic saga comes to an end.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Yeah, well, it'll be kind of hard to backpedal on that, but you're right. They will probably if called upon.
I mean, they're probably gonna do some fleshing out of the new extended universe. Obviously, we covered The Mandalorian. That's going to be coming out real soon, too.
Sure.
There was talks of the Old Republic series that we mentioned. I think it's going to be a lot of that before they get back to, hey, man, so we got an episode 10 coming out. We got a dude with a trident lightsaber. How do we feel about that?
Yeah, right.
Great, Bob Iger. Great.
Yeah, right. It's pretty good.
That's going to sell so many goddamn action figures.
For sure.
Anyway, I saw a movie last night.
Yeah, let me go. Let me know.
A24 film entitled Lighthouse.
Yeah, you talked about this a little bit last week.
Yeah, so we saw it. Let me give you the kind of the gist of it, right? So the deets. It is Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe as two grizzly-crested old seamen spending a 4-week maintenance shift on a little island with a lighthouse.
Okay.
Man, I don't want to give too much away, but this is not your average movie. First and foremost, everything is in black and white.
Okay.
And I usually sum that up to it being like an artsy-fartsy choice, like you're going for that douchey approach, but I think it actually works very well for this film because there's a lot of black and whites, obviously, and that gray stuff in between, and the shadow play is just so damn beautiful in this movie, and I think it incorporates it very well. And I think it was a compliment as opposed to a hindrance, you know what I mean? Because some people, I feel like a lot of movies approach this like, let's shoot it in black and white because the director or the screenplay guy has this kind of vision of grandeur in mind, right? And it doesn't translate well. No, this movie, I think, did it perfectly. Second of all, I want to talk a little bit about, this is a masterclass in sound design. Mm-hmm. This movie isn't outright a horror. It's a thriller film, but I've never seen something as sinister as like ocean waves crashing onto rocks with this fucking insane music behind it. Like that shit should not be creepy.
Okay.
But goddamn was I rattled to my bones when that was on screen.
Okay.
In black and white, and like I said, the sound design is phenomenal. The pacing is great. It is, let's call it a psychological thriller at the end of the day. I think this is personally my favorite Willem Dafoe role. I think that he's in his fucking own natural skin playing a grizzled old seaman. He's crazy. He's an alcoholic. Okay. He's delusional. He's gaslighting Robert Pattinson. And he's a fucking psychopath. And he does it so well. And I think there's so many good lines in this film. It's in ye old English, by the way.
Ye old English.
Yeah, so I think it's like 1800s. It's fucking wild, man. It's trippy. There's a lot of symbolism. There's a lot of crazy themes going around. And the lighthouse itself, the mystery of the lighthouse, it is absolutely bonkers. I definitely like the film. I think that if there was any more douchey sprinkled on it, I think I would not have enjoyed it, though. Okay. It's like right there at like my artsy-fartsy tolerance for films, you know?
Okay.
Because there's definitely too much.
Sure.
Where you're doing overkill, you know what I mean? There's kind of a lot to be interpreted, extrapolated by the viewers.
Extrapolated.
I think it is a good film, though. And I think that if you appreciate sound design and production on a set, you should definitely check this out, because this does everything that a good thriller horror movie should in sound design and then some.
Okay.
Great acting. I think Robert Pattinson knocked it out of the fucking ballpark. Willem Dafoe knocked it out of the fucking ballpark. They're great. And I think there's going to be a lot of good quotes coming out of this film once kind of more people start to see it.
And where is this able to be viewed?
It is in theaters at the moment.
Oh, it's on.
I don't think it's on like the big screens, because the one we saw, it was like a 50-person room.
Okay.
But yeah, dude, check it out. I think it's totally worth it.
Okay.
In my opinion, you're gonna have some strange thoughts afterwards, and you're gonna sit there twiddling your thumbs, wondering about life.
So where did you get it? What theater did you go to?
We just went to an AMC.
Oh, an AMC showing.
Yeah, they're showing at AMC's.
Okay.
That being said, I want to give a little quick shout out to a movie we both love. November 10th, 11th, and 12th, you can catch a screening of The Godfather 2 at AMC Cinemas. It's a Fathom event. I
feel like they're doing more of those these days.
Well, because they did the Ghibli films last year, and they did them this year as well. And then they're doing this. They did Alien. Mm-hmm. I dig it, man. I dig it. You got to choose the right movie, and I feel like you got to choose the right dates, because I think Godfather would have heavily benefited from a Thursday, Friday, Saturday in November where nothing big's coming out.
Sure.
I would have definitely come onto that, but it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and unfortunately, my week that week is packed, because Tuesday we're going to go see a documentary. Wednesday is Counterparts and Varials. Thursday is a day off, and then Friday's Devil Wears Prada and Pokemon and The Main and Ford versus Ferrari. That November 15th is so stupidly fucking packed. It might be the busiest day of this year.
Interesting.
I will come up with an exact list of everything going on that day.
Okay.
So, but yeah, that is grossly busy.
Man, I've only done one Fathom event. And it was the Killing Joke when that came out.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool, though.
Good stuff, man. I feel like we should go to more of these, especially like the Godfather one, man. That's like right up our alley.
Yeah, I mean, I got Mondays off, so I might have to.
There you go.
May have to make a move. It'd be nice to see it like on the big screen, you know.
Yeah, 3 hours long.
I'm with it.
Don't piss for that.
Yeah. I mean, I love it. I love The Godfather, so that might be the play. I'll ask Adriana, see how she's feeling about that. Doesn't sound like a.
So anyway, The Lighthouse is a really good thriller film. I do enjoy it. I don't want to give it a rating quite yet. I want to sit on this a little more, because like I said, you're going to be sitting there thinking about some stuff after the movie. Do
you find yourself keeping, at this point in the year, keeping the ratings close to your chest so you can kind of have something to say at the end of the year?
I am. At the moment, it is my number one is tied between Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and Joker. I think both those two were standout films.
Okay.
I've still got a handful of more of movies that I want to plow through, and of course Star Wars. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I am keeping these ratings that I give out for albums and movies and concerts. I know we don't do ratings for that, but I am keeping all that in the back of my head, because all this is going to factor into my top list.
Yeah, for sure.
The, end of the year stuff that we like to do.
And it's coming around, like you said, man. It's closing in quickly.
That's like 8 or 9 weeks out.
Yeah, a couple more
That's
episodes.
wild, man.
A couple more episodes and we'll be there. All right, so I'm glad. So I got some Scooby Doo things, Scooby Doo related topics, because we had a conversation at work, me and the girls in the office, and basically, I'm sure you're familiar with the theory that Scooby Doo, all of Scooby Doo, the cartoon, all happens in like Shaggy.
Post-apocalyptic.
No.
In Shaggy's head.
It just happens all in Shaggy's head because he's stoned out of his little mind, right? Or that these group of friends get together, get stoned in Shaggy's van, and they create these adventures, in their head or whatever. And you come out with a fun little backstory on it. I'm just wondering, what are your opinion on the matters? Do you have a theory? Is it as it seems? What is your opinion? I know you love Scooby Doo. We all do.
I think my theory is that Hanna-Barbera stumbled onto gold, and then they started to make every single fucking cartoon be Scooby Doo, and we had to wait 8 years between season 2 and 3. There's so much going on with Scooby Doo, and I think that if you want to find meaning and all this crazy shit, you can.
Yeah.
And by all means, if it helps you enjoy the series more, do it. I don't think there's anything more to it.
Yeah.
This released in the 1970s, which is a time of Saturday morning breakfast cartoons, where every cartoon was made to sell a product or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And Scooby Doo just felt like this kind of weird, genuine adventure, the monster of the week format, and I don't think it has anything to do with that.
Do you have a famous or a favorite monster of all the Scooby Doo monsters?
Out of the OG ones,
yeah.
or I really like the Spaceman, the Tar Monster's up there, Creeper's classic. Going through these, there is that astronaut, the one with the laughing and the glowing helmet. That one was pretty good.
I like the scuba diver or the deep sea. Oh my god, how were they called? Those
the deep sea diver.
Yeah, where he has like the fucking helmet.
Yeah, that was really good too.
Yeah,
I actually have all that Scooby Doo stuff on DVD, so I might have to plow through and kind of sit down. Oh, the Zombie and the Witch, another excellent episode.
Yeah, there's some good stuff because we had Scooby Doo the movie on the tube yesterday. I'm like, man, this movie's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like, it's bad.
You got to rewatch Zombie Island, man.
Yeah. No, that's
my favorite piece of Scooby-Doo media.
I agree, because it's the right amount of grit, but it's still fun and it's still Scooby-Doo, but you're just like, this is up a notch. This is like 11.
Well, because they gave him total creative control. Scooby-Doo was in a rut, and they just said, do what you want.
Really?
Yeah, and that's why the subsequent VHS movies didn't live up to it, because after that we got The Witch's Ghost, which was also good. We got Alien Invaders, which was probably my least favorite of the bunch. And then we got Cyber Chase, which kind of wrapped it all up.
When did Zombie Island come out? That was late 90s, right?
99 or 2000.
Okay, that sounds about right.
So, yeah, maybe 96, actually. Go
ahead and get that a look real quick. Because, man, that's something that's formative, man, because it has everything that you want if you're a Scooby-Doo fan.
1998.
Yeah, it's got everything that you want if you're a Scooby-Doo fan. It's also really up on like the music. The music video, we talked about that before.
Metal as fuck.
The music was fucking dope, and it kind of had legitimate like scares, like actual horror.
Yeah, because it was a real monster.
Yeah, actual horror elements to it, not as cheesy, and they kind of break the mold, the Scooby-Doo mold on that regard.
Absolutely. Well, you could already tell that we're back in this Scooby-Doo like lull or rut because they made a Return to Zombie Island movie that released October 1st, and I don't want to watch it because I don't think anything will ever live up to that. Yeah. Yep. There's a Return to Zombie Island movie that was released October 1st, 2019.
Shit, I kind of want to watch it, though.
Well, we'll watch it, and we'll give a review. I have Zombie Island around the house somewhere if you want to borrow that.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's do a spooky review of Scooby-Doo.
It's spooky season after all. I think Adriana said that she wanted to do the Universal Monster movies once we started getting dinner kicked off because she's a big fan. She wants me to buy her. I came across on Mondo. I don't know if you're familiar with that website.
I
am. Where it has a Creature of the Black Lagoon tiki mug.
Nice.
And she wants it like really fucking bad. So I might have to.
Mondo does a lot of really cool like horror movies on vinyl, on wax.
Yeah.
And I think it's, well, I know you have the Halloween ones, but like, I was just sitting there thinking, like, who the fuck would want any of this shit?
Yeah.
Like, I know there's, like, horror fans, but, like, who wants to listen in their dark-ass basement, their musty-ass basement, listen to this shit talking about killers around the fucking door?
For sure. But they actually have some really good art on all their vinyls,
absolutely.
too. They have the 40th anniversary of Halloween one that was, like, really fucking awesome, where it's not really a clear picture of Michael's face, but it's almost like you're seeing him through, like, a rain-covered
lens.
Yeah, like a lens. It was really well put together. So, Mondo. Good stuff, man.
Good stuff.
That's excellent.
Talk to me about American Horror Story.
So, me and Adrian started it because we had it backed up on the DVR, like, because we're just like, let's line up a few episodes and plow through them. We are completely caught up to this point. I think they got like 2 or 3 more episodes left. Obviously, American Horror Story this particular season is 1984, which is all based on the famous slashers of the era, right? They couldn't really decide who they wanted to rip off. We mentioned that a couple of weeks ago on the pod. So with that being said, not the biggest American Horror Story fan, but I love everything about this season of this show. From the intro, I think they definitely realized a little bit what Stranger Things was doing, and like, well, let's take a little bit of that kind of ominous vibe, but it still has a kind of an 80s funk to it. 80s vibe, and the intro is fantastic. The season opens up, and they're these group of ragtag teenagers, young adults, are going to be camp counselors at a camp nearby, about an hour away from Los Angeles. So the adventure starts off. I know this is kind of common for the series, but I'm actually surprised at how much they can get away with as far as the violence. I know it's FX and they're not like crazy, like concerned about it, but it's TV still. It's still TV. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just kind of stuck in the older days.
TV 15 years ago was a different beast, man.
Yeah. Maybe I'm just kind of stuck on this TV.
Hey, man, South Park's been doing it since 96, so why not?
This is true. Because it does get a little crazy with the violence sometimes. And that's okay. They kind of set up multiple storylines that are all kind of linked together with this camp, right? And it kicks off like quick, hot and heavy. Like there's no holds barred from the first episode onward. As a matter of fact, I'm not going to try to get too crazy into the spoilers because obviously I don't know everything quite yet. But like the first 4 or 5 episodes is all one night.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff that goes down in that one night. And now we just hopped onto this last episode, which springs forward kind of abruptly. So if you're a fan of the 80s look, vibe, and if you like slashers of the era, you would definitely enjoy this. I would recommend it to you. I'm sure Maddie will love it.
Sure.
And I think this is so far, I mean, like I said, not crazy of the franchise, but probably my favorite season of the show, at least the ones I've watched.
Sure. So you touched on it briefly, but I kind of want to bring this to light because I had this weird thought epiphany, whatever you want to call it. The 80s are kind of coming back.
A little bit.
Because we stumbled across a song by a singer named Meg Myers, and it's a cover of Running Up That Hill. And I was like, wow, this is particularly good. It sounds straight out of the 80s, but it was released this year.
Yeah.
And then I kind of sat down and thought, like, well, Halloween is back. We're getting the American Horror Story.
Stranger
Things. And then, like, it's not new, but I feel like it's gaining momentum in like the electronic scene. All this like synthwave stuff is coming to the main line.
Yeah.
And so I was like, man, it's kind of weird that we're witnessing this resurgence of 80s pop culture.
Absolutely. And when I went to Universal, they had some of that going on too. I mean, I know it was tied into the Stranger Things, thing, but like a lot of I guess the theming kind of like an arcade kind of a look to it, and you can't go to an arcade or have an arcade look without thinking of the 80s. Just the neon effect of it, is kind of.
I think that
hand in hand.
Infinite Warfare Zombies map, that amusement park, did a really good job of capturing that feel.
I did like that.
Yeah,
that was fun.
Well, okay, so we'll end this topic off on this. What do you want to be cool or acceptable again from the 80s?
I just like the
aesthetic, like the neon.
Yeah,
and the
neon's cool. I dig that. I mean, I'm not particularly crazy about any of the music, really.
I gotcha.
Or any of the fashion trends. It's not really look at me for crying out loud, right? But I do like the neon aesthetic. Like I look back at the Terminator and it had the whole film noir kind of a feel to it. I like that style. Maybe some film, because there's some good stuff in film when it comes to the 80s. Obviously in the slasher department, but like I said, the Terminator and things like that come to mind. So I wouldn't mind seeing like a comeback of that. I think that would be kind of cool. And like I said, I think Stranger Things kind of was the catalyst.
Kickstarted, absolutely.
Was the catalyst of all this, and they've done a good job. And American Horror Story, I think, like I said, I think you should give it a proper look. I think you definitely enjoy it. However, there is something that I did want to mention. There is tie-in with some real life events, real life people.
Okay.
In this American Horror Story season, and I'm surprised there's no uproar about it. You know what I mean? People talking about the Joker, but there's a character in this season that
was a real person.
That was a real person who was doing some fucked up shit, and you would think that you would hear something about that. So I thought that was a little strange. And you mentioned Running Up the Hill. Placebo did a fantastic cover of that song too, so I would look that up.
Good stuff.
But yeah, I would. This is definitely a recommend so far. I mean, they could totally shit the bed in the last couple episodes, and it'll change it around a little bit. But I do enjoy the casting. They've done a good. I mean, they do that every single season. They have the same people, same characters. I know the wife is looking into all the tie-ins to the previous seasons and stuff like that. So overall, enjoying it, and I'll let you guys know once it ends how I feel about it overall, total. So good stuff overall. with that being said, speaking of 80s, all right, I saw a trailer actually for this. Black Christmas. Black Christmas is being redone by Blumhouse, right? So at least they're gonna have fun with it, right? At the very least, and there's a very good chance it may be proper because that's Blumhouse in a nutshell. Either it's a fun little project,
Hit or miss,
or it's actually good. So Black Christmas, you familiar with Black Christmas at all? It was essentially one of the first slasher films ever. John Carpenter took a lot of the influence from this and translated it into Halloween. Basically, it is a killer going around a sorority house. All right. Good body count, right?
Oh, I saw the trailer for this actually.
So you did see it. Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of the same kind of 80s kind of vibe too. I kind of like the whole blood-soaked Christmas light thing.
Yeah.
I kind of dig that. I know that's kind of sick. But yeah, man, this looked good. This looked like a lot of fun. Like you said, Blumhouse, hit or miss, right?
Yeah.
You never know. I'm thinking I'm going to see it though. I'm definitely going to give it a chance. I think it's coming out early December, whatever the hell it is. First week.
There are some pretty good Christmassy horror movies out there. So
Silent Night, Deadly Night's a pretty good one.
We watched one of those 4 separate stories, and they all kind of converged on William Shatner's character, and that was called A Christmas Horror Story, which is particularly good.
Really?
I don't know if it's still on Netflix.
Oh,
but one of them's like a mall Santa goes nuts, and another one is like changelings steal a kid, and one of them's like they fight Krampus, which is the most ridiculous one, right? But like all of them were like horror-y aspects in one way or another.
For all of our longtime listeners, remember when Gabe was completely obsessed with the whole Krampus thing for like an extended period of time?
I have a Krampus Christmas sweater that my girlfriend bought me.
Yeah.
So I am still obsessed.
Okay, so yeah, but you would bring it like you wouldn't stop. Like you just brought it up every week for like a 6-month period.
Hey man, I liked it. Some of my friends hate it, but I like it.
Yeah. That was I remember that. That was like maybe early on.
That was 2015.
Yeah, early on in the podcast.
All right, let's talk Rainbow Six Siege, a game that I have not touched in quite some time.
Excellent. So Siege got its new Halloween event. Last year's Halloween event was just basically house. Like,
super foggy, low visibility house.
Spookified house with some cool skins overall, right? This particular year, they have decided to up the ante, right? They basically took amusement park, spookified it a little bit more, emphasized the more haunted house aspect of it, and rolled with it. And half of the ops that you can use are all trap based that you can't. Obviously, you're not gonna have a gun, and the other ops are dumbed down version with like this sick hammer that they bash these zombie characters over with the head. All right, and it looks like a lot of fun. I haven't engaged in it yet, but all the footage looks like a fucking hoot. I love the trap based mechanic with it, where they just like, let me just throw a whole bunch of fucking Ella Guzman mines at your fucking face and go over and over again. And basically, if you're a monster and you survive, you win. Like last man, and if you're your last one standing, you win for the round, right? So overall, looks like a lot of fun. But these skins, though,
oh man, these skins is tasty.
Yeah, they raised the bar on the skins this year because there's definitely some good ones last year. There were some really good ones.
I'm still rocking that thermite skin.
Yeah, the thermite with the bug-eyed, who like his face is burned off and he has the bug-eyed.
Hey, that shit is so funny.
It is
when I get MVP.
I get so mad every time I get killed by one of them because like how once you get killed,
it shows the fucking face.
Yeah, it zooms in on his face. I'm like,
behind the corner.
This motherfucker.
Shit-eating grin.
For sure. Yeah, that was a good one. But this season they got a really cool bandit one. I know you liked Frost quite a bit.
Why does Frost have always like really fucking good skins?
She had the Viking
elite skin.
She has the Viking one, yeah.
Viking skin. Then this demon skin is great with the Chelsea smile.
Yeah. There is who else? Legion has some really fucking good ones.
Yeah, Legion has some good ones.
Yeah. So there's some good skins going on this particular season. And like Gabe said, I know we're not like on top of all the Siege stuff these days because there's a lot of other games out and about. But it's awesome, man. We probably should have mentioned that we transitioned over to gaming, but hey, whatever. But yeah, so check it out. I'm sure most people will enjoy it. And
let us know what you think because we haven't touched it yet.
Absolutely.
Good stuff. So talking about zombies. Yeah, Last of Us Part 2 delayed till May 29th, and it was slated for a March release.
Yeah, early March.
Early March release, so 6 weeks. How do you feel about it?
Kill me.
Yeah, but it's Naughty Dog.
Yeah. No, I know. That's the thing. Because I was telling Adriana about it. She's like, well, isn't that what you want? Because basically they're saying, well, hey, like we didn't want to rush it out. We want to add that extra layer of polish onto
what they said.
onto our final product, pushing it back a few weeks. And like I said, I complained to Adriana. She's like, well, wouldn't you rather be perfect and not have to complain about it not being perfect later? I'm like, shut up. You're making too much sense.
I think Spawnwave did a really good job kind of breaking this down. He said, at this point, we've waited 6 years for this game. What's another 6 weeks? You know what I mean? Especially if they're trying to truly deliver that, like, mirror polish finish to this product, you know?
Adriana said the same fucking thing, too.
You know?
Yeah.
But I think it'll be good.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't have any doubt in my mind that they're doing the right thing. Because if they say they need time, let them have all the time that they need to accomplish that. They have, the trust and the love.
Hey, maybe it'll launch with multiplayer now.
Oh.
Because they said it wasn't going to launch with multiplayer. They said that was going to be additional content. That's going to come down the pipeline eventually.
That's a good point.
So maybe now it'll launch with it. Because the Last of Us multiplayer was actually a lot of fun.
Tons of fun. And I didn't think about that, Gabe. You might be right about that.
Yeah, because that was like the big thing. They said the game's going to launch, but you're going to have to wait for the multiplayer.
Yeah, interesting.
So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll see. 6 weeks.
Gabe might have cracked the code on that one.
Cracked the code. Anyway, let's talk about Fallout first. Do you know what this is?
I have no idea.
So do you remember that game that everybody loved and rejoiced at Bethesda? Do you remember that, Fallout 76?
Yeah, I heard it was amazing.
Yeah, so let me tell you what they're doing now. They got this thing called Fallout First, which is a monthly subscription of $13 for bonus content, or $100 a year, right? And so, okay, what the fuck is going on? Fallout 76.
But Bethesda, what if they have like really?
They really shat the bed year in and year out.
Really rapidly, it's just fucking.
Because they used to be like gods amongst men.
Yeah.
And now they're
like on EA territory right now.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So here's a couple of things that are cheaper than Fallout First on the monthly one. Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah.
Which you can pick up a lot of Gears 5. You can pick up The Outer Worlds, which just released Friday, and it's already on Games Pass. A lot of really good fucking games are on Xbox Game Pass.
Uh-huh.
And I think I might just hop on, because it's $1 for my first month.
Yeah.
Because I'm on PC, and it's still in beta. PlayStation Now is cheaper. A RuneScape subscription is cheaper. There's a lot of fucking things that are cheaper than this. And this is for one particular game that's not all that great. And it's been in this kind of broken mess state. Yeah, man, what the fuck is going on?
I don't know. That's a little strange. I mean, at this point, they have a game that a whole lot of people aren't playing these days. So their idea is to monetize every last penny they can out of it and then probably send it on its way.
Well, I mentioned it to you prior. I thought that they were just going to go free to play and just be like, well, you know what, fuck it. If you ever had a passing interest, it's free. Download it. And if you like it, stick around. If not, uninstall it, right? Because that's kind of like the mentality.
Sure.
And then if they did that, then of course they're going to have some way to monetize it.
Yeah.
But no, it's still a game you got to pay for up front, and now to get everything you want, you got to pay that $13 a month.
I don't get it.
Fucking ridiculous. Literally, Bethesda's only saving grace right now is going to be the next Elder Scrolls, or it's going to be like the next mainline Fallout entry, Fallout 5, or what else do they do? They're like mainline Bethesda games.
They have a whole bunch of them. I just can't think offhand. Bethesda. Are they? No, that's Blizzard. I was gonna say Diablo, but that's Blizzard.
Yeah. Well, like I said, their next one's gonna have to be their saving grace because they've been on a downward trajectory for like a while now.
Quick question: are you like with Fallout, or is that like something that you've never really understood? Because it's this. I understand the appeal, but I've never really been interested in Fallout.
I've played Fallout 3 for a snippet of time, and I didn't delve super deep into it. I understand the appeal. I just don't think it's per se up my alley.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I get it, because there is a lot of good stuff beneath there, like Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 4, Fallout 3.
Yeah.
Like those are good mainline entries.
Sure.
You know, and I understand. But it's just like the same way that Star Trek doesn't appeal to me. That doesn't mean it's inherently bad.
Yeah.
It just doesn't mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's because I felt like it was like a party that like I wasn't invited to.
Yeah, no, I totally understand.
I'm like, I don't get it. Like I just don't get it. I'm sure you had fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's not for everyone.
But I didn't get it.
It was this weird, like, fucking westernized version of Star Wars that wasn't a space opera. It was like a post-apocalyptic. I like the premise.
Yeah.
I think the premise is really cool. I never invested in that premise, though.
Interesting.
So, yeah. In addition to Fallout First, the atrocity, we have some possible good news.
Let's see. Well, we'll see. Go ahead.
So, somebody caught Ed Boon after like a Brazilian game show or whatever. And they were asking about Shaolin Monks. And Ed Boon said, I'd fucking love to remaster Shaolin Monks. But it all comes down to what Warner Brothers wants. Interesting take. Because this is hands down the best non-mainline Mortal Kombat entry, and probably top 3 mainline Mortal Kombat entries, period.
Yeah.
I'd put it right behind MK11, honestly.
Oh, all right, I put it.
I'm sorry, MKX.
Yeah, you like that.
I liked X a lot more than I liked 11. But, yeah, I'd put it up there, man. I'd probably put it at number 3, but it is in top 3 nonetheless.
For sure, top 5. I would have to look and think about it.
Yeah, man. I think that they could, if they did a good job of making it like the full 1080, right? I think for $30, I think it'd sell like hotcakes.
Absolutely.
And I think if they did a Switch port, because that game's like 2.5 gigs, I think. Well, it was on the PS2, so it probably had to be less than 2 gigs.
Yeah.
I think if they did a Switch port. Ooh, baby. That's like ideal.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Just take it on the run with you.
Well, obviously we know that this is a thing that Boone has been like talking about. Like he teases it every opportunity he gets when he talks about. He's like, "Oh, look what somebody dropped in my desk this morning." And it's like, shut the fuck up. I know you're trolling. We all know that you're trolling. Stop it, Boone. But yeah, man, that would be something that I would hop all over like quickly.
But your pre-order's down.
Yeah, that's a pre-order. That's for sure. That's for sure getting done. Because I bought the game on opening day when it came out, and it's just
a great beat 'em up.
I had so many fond experiences with the game.
Unlocking all those fatalities as the game progresses.
Absolutely. Just because Mortal Kombat 2, I've mentioned it, is my favorite Mortal Kombat game. And just being able to explore the world, getting to see everything from different perspectives this time. All those like world famous, like levels, the Deadpool, the wastelands, all that stuff, and getting to see it in 3 dimensions and getting to play around with it and all the puzzles that went along with it. In true Mortal Kombat fashion, it was probably one of the best when it comes to secrets, all of those extra things that came along with it.
And it didn't feel like a wasteful entry. It didn't feel like gimmicky. No. It felt genuine and inspired.
Yeah, absolutely. And they really nailed that combat system with that game. They did such a good job with that. And I didn't hate Mythologies. I know a lot of people do. Gabe just gave me an eye roll. I thought Mythologies was fun. Brutal. I'll give you that. Hard as fuck. But I had fun with it. And this is probably like 6 to 7 times better than that, like easily. And giving us some fun background story. I would love to see it.
I think it's the perfect time, man. I think a Switch port would be the best thing for this game because it would be better than just playing that on your commute to work.
Yeah.
Or like from home and you're all frustrated and shit. Just take it out on some Tarkatans.
Yeah, man. That would be something I would love. I would love that for sure. Speaking of that, so my wife has informed me of a late birthday present that I'm going to try to bring home tomorrow. Want to know what that birthday present is?
What is it?
So she put a down payment on that arcade 1-up Mortal Kombat cabinet for me. So I'm going to try to get it paid off tomorrow, wheel it in here, build it, and hopefully have it set up right there. Maybe move my chairs around and do something with it. Where do you think I should put it, Gabe? I know this is probably bad for air, but because they can't see my room. But where do you think I should put it?
I don't think it'd be a bad idea putting it here, actually, where I'm sitting.
Putting a Gabe spot?
And I can just sit on the floor. And be like a dog and just rub my ass cheeks on your. Anyway, yeah, I think here or there is probably a good spot.
Interesting. So hopefully we'll have it here next week. And
if it's not that massive, you could probably put it at the corner of your desk.
Oh, I know it's not that big. Well, maybe I'll slide something down. I can figure something out. Gabe.
Yeah.
So maybe next week, once the pod finishes, me and Gabe will be fiddling around with.
Because it has 1, 2, and 3 ultimate.
Ultimate 3, yeah.
Yeah, that's the way to go with 3.
Yeah. So we'll see. Hopefully, I have it next week, and I'm excited about it. Moving along. So Ubisoft, I think they did their fiscal year presser. I think it's coming to an end, or they're rounding the corner on the last quarter of their year. And basically, they have admitted
they fucked up.
That they fucked up this year. How everything is kind of just fucking trash, and everything, like a lot of games got pushed back. They pushed back Siege Quarantine. And I think there was Gods and Monsters or whatever. They have a game coming out, which actually looked pretty interesting. They pushed that one back.
Even then, they were ruining their IPs as they were coming out. We mentioned this, that just because games as a service works for Rainbow Six Siege, that doesn't mean it'll inherently work for something like Assassin's Creed franchise or Ghost Recon franchise. And I think that's exactly why we're not seeing a Splinter Cell entry, because they're probably sitting there like, well, how the fuck do we make this like an every month or every quarter we drop new DLC and you want to buy it, you know?
Yeah, that's definitely something that's interesting. I think I'm hoping that they're taking this with grace, and they're understanding, okay.
Well, because like Siege, like we get excited whenever there's new ops coming out or like a new map.
Sure.
It's like chaos, but like the good kind of like mosh pit chaos in the Siege community.
For sure.
Whereas like, do these other IPs really lend themselves to this format? No.
Well, like I don't know, man. I just wish that, because I remember when Vegas came out, Rainbow Six Vegas, and how like on top of their game they were back then. And it wasn't just that; it was like the Splinter Cells. I think Blacklist was coming out, and there was like a good amount of Ubisoft games. I think Future Soldier came out a couple years later for Ghost Recon, and it was just like, man, these games are really good. Ubisoft on top of their shit. And right now, it just seems like everything except Siege is just falling short. Even with like Watch Dogs and all that, because Watch Dogs also a property.
Flop.
Yeah, Flop Dogs. Yeah. We'll see, because like, remember Watch Dogs 2? Yeah, that came out. I didn't.
But just because it worked for Rainbow Six Siege, that shouldn't be the template. You know what I mean?
The exception, not the rule.
Because the Siege gameplay at its core is very tight.
Yep.
It is interesting, and you'll never have the same match twice. Now, can you say the exact same about your other properties? If the answer is no, well, then don't apply that as games as a service. And if the answer is yes, then why'd you make the same game twice?
Yeah, this is true.
You know what I mean? It just doesn't lend itself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it is, man. Because, we could sit here and talk all day about Rainbow Six Siege, about the comeback, this and that. It just works because clearly there was love and care taken into it. And I don't think we've gotten a mainline Rainbow Six entry since Siege, right?
You think that's a Montreal thing? Because I know Ubisoft has a bunch of studios, like a lot of the other big. But Montreal is like immune to that.
Yeah, I don't know. They're just taking care of their property, dude. That's all it is. And we always say that if you put like a genuine effort towards it, it's going to show. It may not be the game of the year material, but it's going to show that you like gave a shit.
It's weird. Maybe I'm gonna have to look back and see which ones Montreal did, because I know they did all the Rainbow Six games, and all of those were fun. All of them have been fun. So I'm wondering maybe there's a disconnect between Montreal and the rest of the other studios.
I think Montreal's probably gonna have like at least some free reign with what they want to do, and just some pushback on the mother company.
Yeah, that's a little interesting. I'll have to look into that. Maybe I'll give you guys a report on that next week, but that's interesting to me. Alrighty, let's go ahead and move on. So big release. I was talking shit. I know Gabe gave me a hard time when he walked into the house today because he's like, "Oh, you fucking bought it, man." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know. No pre-orders." I'm like, "Well, I didn't pre-order." He's like, "It's the same fucking thing. It was worse even."
They already had your $60, bro.
Yeah. Anyway, so Modern Warfare dropped. I'm like, you know what? I think Activision caught some positive press near the end, like the last 3 days. They're like, "Yeah, for sure, not happening." So I'm like, "All right, cool. Let me give them a shot." So I bought the game, got maybe a couple of hours into it. Like I said, this is more of a first impressions and not so much a review. I'm going to play the story mode because I'm hearing good things about it.
It's a soft reboot from my understanding of the story mode.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing too. And quick impressions, it's fun. I told Gabe a lot of the maps that came in the beta were the worst maps I've seen so far. I like the more battlefieldy kind of maps. And so far I'm having a decent time with it. I'm having a good time. Now it doesn't quite bring back that old-timey goodness like with Black Ops 2, which I say multiple times on this podcast is the pinnacle, is the apex of the Call of Duty franchise. You're never going to get better than Black Ops 2. Never, in my opinion. I know Gabe liked to me and Gabe have gone back and forth on this. Like, I like this one. He didn't like that one.
I think we can both agree that around that time frame, give or take a game, was the pinnacle of COD.
What would you say, legitimately?
Well, when I hopped off, it was Black Ops 1. But I'll give it to you. Black Ops 2 did a lot of great stuff with the game. Yeah.
Okay.
I kind of hopped off early, but I have some time in Black Ops 2. Mm-hmm. And I do agree that there was a lot of good improvements. Mm-hmm. But like I said, give or take a year or a game at this point, right? It's pretty much around the same era.
What's your favorite one, though?
What's my favorite one? Oh, that's hard, man. That's rough. Just overall or multiplayer?
Overall.
The
whole package. The whole package.
Ah, sweet baby Jesus. I don't know, man. Might have to be. Oh, I'll get back to you on that.
Okay.
I don't know.
Because I agree that Black Ops 2 is the pinnacle, but Black Ops 1 is my personal favorite.
Yeah, that one's up there for me, man.
Yeah.
That one's up there for me.
Interesting.
I think Black Ops 3 did a fucking great job because you could just spend days in zombies.
Yeah, for sure.
I think I made it to like 35 in multiplayer, and I was like, nah, dude, we're just going to fucking play zombies now.
Fair enough. Like I said, I'm having a good time. I do like the feel of it. A lot of the graphics got a little bit of a bump up. Right?
Chicken vagina.
Yeah, it looks good. The weapons feel fun and good. I love how that F2 feels, man. The famous Amos, man. You can never go wrong in any game. Like it's always good. It's never not been good. So so far I'm having fun. I do like a little bit of the lean mechanic thing. I think that's kind of cool.
It's fun.
With the mount mechanic and all that. I not particularly loving the 20-on-20 game modes. I'm not crazy about them. I'm a domination guy, dude. But straight up, I played a map on TDM last night, and it was like a London-based map where like there's a lot of cars. So basically, like you're caught in traffic and you're running around. And I got locked into the TDM, and I was spawn trapped to like hell. I spawned into a missile strike.
Nice.
Multiple times. Granted, that is very typical of the Call of Duty development cycle. That first couple of months, the spawns are always brutal, and they'll get better over time. But yeah, having fun, and hopefully, like I said, I'm gonna try to get through the story maybe next week and have a review for.
So good stuff up front.
Yeah, good stuff up front. We'll see how we feel near the end.
Awesome. If you want a trip down memory lane, the Exploration Podcast just did an episode on Modern Warfare 2 covering everything from story mode to multiplayer to glitches and everything in between, and those broken-ass sweaty classes that everybody had at least one of.
So what you said, talking about you said which Modern Warfare?
Modern Warfare 2.
So you're talking about One Man Army Noob Tube?
That was one of them. We had Tack Knife and Commando Pro.
Oh, no.
Yeah, disgusting. So, yeah, if you want to hear some good shit-talking lobbies, check that out.
No.
I'm glad to hear that, though, because this does seem, at the moment, I've been hearing a lot of good things.
Positivity.
But we know the Activision model. We got to wait a month.
Absolutely.
Because Black Ops 4, same thing on launch. Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah.
And then, boom,
What was that
the
voice
ladder.
change?
The ladder came in, the progression ladder and the monetization carousel and all that stuff. So only time will tell, because I feel like these Call of Duties are lasting like less long and less long. You know what I mean?
I just realized what you tagged on here. What is that?
It's a good argument. We'll get into that.
We'll get to there.
But like, you feel me? Like I feel like COD 4 lasted a very long time.
Absolutely.
Even after the release of Modern Warfare 2, like there was still a heavy community invested in COD 4.
Okay.
That didn't swap over, that maybe preferred it.
Sure.
But I feel like now, if you're like 2 years behind, that game is going to be dead.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's curious to see when Black Ops 4 is going to be dead.
Yeah.
Probably 2020, 2021. I'd say is a fair window.
Well, I know they're already working on 5. They were remember they whoever Sledgehammer got cut out of the rotation because the game wasn't where it was supposed to be, so they said you're up. So I wouldn't be surprised if it ends relatively soon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With
so
that.
the best for Modern Warfare, because hey man, I don't want to harp on this again, but how long has Rainbow Six Siege lasted? 5 years now.
Just about.
And going strong.
How fucking excellent.
Stronger than ever.
Oh, I'm not gonna get into that. I'm sorry. We just can't. We talk about it all the time, but goddamn them.
We're back on that cycle.
Yeah.
We got to talk about Rainbow Six every episode.
Yeah.
And we were doing really good for like 20 or 30, and now we're back on it. You know what I mean?
For sure.
You got any closing thoughts on Modern Warfare? Can you recommend it from what you've played so far? Do you think you're gonna? The way I look at it, right, is my $ per hour spent motto. So I look at things like, well, if I spent I think I spent $50 on Breath of the Wild and I put like 45 hours into it, I think that was a fair return.
Mm-hmm.
That was a little bit more than $1 per hour.
Sure. Right now, can I see myself putting at least 60 on this?
What about 40? A working man's week.
Yeah, I could probably see myself because I think I've already done like 2. So that's in a couple of days, I'm sure. Yeah, I can see that.
Sure.
Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that. So far, like I will say, I think we did last year's game. I'm like, yeah, it's fine. It's Call of Duty. This one I'm a little bit more optimistic about.
That's
because it doesn't feel quite exactly like Call of Duty. Like I said, there's a little bit of Battlefield mixed in there, which is
it doesn't feel like a reskin.
Yeah, which is why I'm enjoying it. I feel like because I mean, I know we talked about it years and years ago when it came out, but when Battlefield 1 came out, I was like super enthusiastic, and I really did enjoy Battlefield 1. So getting a little bit of that vibes, I like it. And the maps feel, and this is like my last comment on it, the maps feel like they're actually places. They don't feel like it's a Call of Duty map.
It's like a 2 or 3 lane bullshit.
Yeah, it actually feels like places where sometimes things don't make sense. Like, oh, this is a dead end. Okay, that's weird. You know what I mean? Like, that actually feels like places, which is why I'm kind of optimistic. I'm looking forward to digging into all the maps and all.
Well, because Ghost did that too.
Yeah.
But everything was so fucking big you couldn't find anyone.
You run fucking halfway across the map just to get sniped in the ass, especially on that fucking Stonehenge map. Oh my god.
I don't want to talk about Stonehenge.
Yeah, me either.
Let's talk some music news and reviews.
All right.
Hybrid Theory. Holy shit, 19.
19 years old. Hybrid Theory, one of the formative albums of my life, as you may recall on that list. Speaking of which, I wanted to insert something here real quick. I was thinking about maybe not a game per se, but maybe putting it before music. Well, we take maybe a list of 5-ish songs that mean a lot to you personally.
Sure.
Whether it help you, something through a hard time, and maybe describing these things on next week's podcast. All right. So digging through your whole library, this song means something to me because of this.
So you want to do this when Mental Health Awareness Month is over?
Oh. Oh.
No, we can do it. I'm totally down.
Okay.
This is going to be a one-time thing, or?
Yeah, I figured we just do it once. Maybe even do a list of maybe as many as you want to bring to the table. Let's just do that.
Cool.
And maybe why it means to you, why it's important to you, and things like that. Because me and my wife, we were in the car and a song came up, and I'm like, oh man, this reminds me of this, and then she's, oh yeah. And then we had a conversation about it, and I thought that was fun. So I figured we'd do it on the pod for next week, and we'll say, like I said, bring it to the table. So yeah. Hybrid Theory is 19 years old. I can't believe it. That's insane. Aren't they eligible for like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame soon enough? Like
I don't know what the.
I think it's like 25 years after your initial release or something.
Soon? Well, I'm sure. Without a doubt that one's going to get inducted. I think any early piece of Linkin Park material is definitely up for.
Yeah, for sure. Interesting. Speaking of which, hold on. So
thinking.
I forgot to. We forgot to talk about this. I meant to put it on the criteria, but the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominees. Let's want to talk about those real quick?
Yeah, bring them up.
All right. So basically, I'm going to go through this list. You let me know who you think
we'll get it.
Is or who's going to get it, or if they're worthy or whatever. All right. Pat Benatar.
Yeah.
She'll get in, you think? Worthy? Worthy for sure.
Easily worthy.
Will she get in this year, do you think?
Maybe.
Well, I guess
we got to see what the competition is.
Dave Matthews Band.
Yeah, I think it's overdue.
Yeah. Depeche Mode.
I think it's overdue.
I'm surprised they're not in already, to be honest.
Yeah, right.
The Doobie Brothers?
I don't know too much about the Doobie Brothers.
Me either. Whitney Houston?
Overdue.
Yeah, she's getting in. Judas Priest?
What? They're not in yet?
Yeah, I guess not. Kraftwerk?
Oh, Kraftwerk. Yeah, that's a good one. I enjoy Kraftwerk. I don't know if they quite... well, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I guess they would qualify. See, I think Kraftwerk is on that slightly obscure spectrum for this list.
Yeah.
Where it's not going to be it's not going to be as well known as something as like Judas Priest.
But I have a feeling they'll get in just because of that. There's always like one of those.
Sure.
In the nominees and who ended up making it in the end. MC5, I guess is a rap group.
Sure.
Okay. Motorhead.
Okay. How long are we waiting till everybody dies?
I guess so. This one, I think their first ballot, because I think this is their first year they're eligible. 9 Inch Nails.
Yeah. Ugh. Okay. Yeah, we know who's gonna get it.
Yeah, I think they're getting in. Notorious B.I.G.
He's not in?
Nope.
What?
I think it's his first year of eligibility though.
Huh. Yeah. I think I might actually pick that over 9 Inch Nails.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
B.I.G's done a lot for the genre.
Whoa. Relax. I mean, yeah, he's getting in, but I wouldn't say all that now. All right. Rufus featuring Shaka Khan.
Well, it actually sounds familiar. I couldn't tell you a song though.
Sure. Todd Rundgren. I don't know who
next.
this is. Yeah, next. They should get in this next group. Soundgarden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Come on. Is this also their first year? There's no way. No.
I think so. Yeah.
Damn.
I haven't seen them on because we talked about the ballad last year, and I don't recall hearing them on there.
Okay.
T-Rex.
Okay, sure. If why not?
Thin Lizzy.
Yeah, Thin Lizzy. How are they not? Okay.
So yeah, I think
the year of. I thought they were already in there.
Yeah, right. So I think they only choose 5 from every single class. Which 5 do you think?
Soundgarden,
Okay.
9 Inch Nails, Notorious, Judas Priest, and Motorhead. I think those are my 5.
Okay.
I think I left out one that I would like to see. Probably Whitney Houston.
Right,
easily going to beat out one of them.
I was thinking.
But those are my 5.
I was predicting Depeche Mode, Whitney Houston, Nine Inch Nails, Soundgarden, and Notorious B.I.G. That's what
I think that's also fair.
Yeah, that was my guess.
Out of realm of reason.
Yeah, but like I said, Judas Priest. I'm stunned by that. I'm stunned by that.
That's is Iron Maiden's got to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, right?
I think they are. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
And I mean, Judas Priest. That's like hand in hand, you know.
Wait, hold on. Let me make sure who's.
Yeah, pull up the list before we start.
No. This is the list, but I'm just looking for. Oh, okay, so this is the first year Notorious B.I.G. is eligible for sure. Nine Inch Nails has been eligible for 5 years, but they have 3 nominations total. Interesting. Soundgarden, this is their
first year.
First year, yeah. They were eligible in 2011, but this is their first year nominated. Interesting.
Very interesting. Do people not listen to Soundgarden anymore?
I fucking love Soundgarden.
I think we should just wait for Audioslave to be eligible and indict them.
Do you think Cornell gets in on his own one day?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he actually had like a solid career on his own, and he was in all these.
Fucking great career.
Yeah. Because like people are like, oh, Kurt Cobain should get on his own. Like, but he didn't really have a career without Nirvana. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was no other thing that he did.
So, what's your favorite song off Hybrid Theory?
Favorite song, Paper Cut.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, Paper Cut. That's pretty easy. I think that's probably top 5 all-time Linkin Park songs.
Awesome. So in 2 years, when Hybrid Theory turns 21, we're gonna get smashed on this podcast and try and recite lyrics off the top of our heads.
I don't think you want to play that game with me, dude. I think you're gonna lose that one. But yeah, so Hybrid Theory, congratulations! I can't believe it. Crazy.
Good stuff. So I had this thought when I was driving home the other day from work, and I just slapped this on the agenda. I sleight of handed it. I ninja diffused it, as the Potters would say when Jacob was not looking. So is heat a flavor? If something is hot, does that count towards the flavor profile? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Now, if you take the heat out, do you think it has as much flavor, or more flavor, or less flavor? Do you know what I mean?
What the fuck are you talking about?
I'm trying to transition this into some music talk.
Okay.
Do you think that if something is okay, let's say you got like a roast beef.
Okay.
And you put a bunch of Frank's Red Hot on it. Let's just say that's what you enjoy.
Okay.
Do you think that roast beef is more flavorful than it was prior? On a non-biased opinion. Because I know you don't like your roast beef overly spicy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a matter of, do you think it inherently has more flavor?
Do
you think there's more character to that flavor profile?
I mean, I think it would have to be, right? I think if anything that adds depth is flavor, right?
But he can also mask flavor. You know what I mean?
I mean, I think it depends on how hot you're getting.
Well, okay, because if you look at Cheetos, right?
Okay.
Cheetos aren't crazy hot.
No.
But I think it masks the kind of nice styrofoamy crunch of the chip. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
You feel me? Like, people like Cheetos because they're hot. They don't like them because they're flavorful. Does that make sense?
Well...
Okay, so keep that thought process in mind while your daughter moves the mouse.
Oh, shit. Yeah. So Elisana came in, but I don't want her playing with the mouse. Let go of the mouse. Let go. Ah!
The podcast.
Let go. Okay, go with your mom.
Okay.
I'm sorry if my child screams, but...
There it is.
Nailed it. On cue and everything.
So,
it's on the door.
Here's what I'm transitioning to. Do you think that heaviness in music is character in music?
Yes.
You think so?
Yes.
So if a band is stupid heavy for no other reason than being stupid heavy, you think that's character?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not saying you're wrong or right.
Some bands lean on that.
Sure. I mean, look at the deathcore community. A lot of bands lean on that.
Yeah.
But perfect example. You're shooting and hollering along to My Damnation before we started rolling, right, by Chelsea Grin.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think they particularly lean on the heavy aspect too much. Like there's a certain level of dependency, right? A certain level, but I don't think their whole entire career depends on Okay, let me rephrase that. I think there's more through Chelsea Grin's music in regards to the way Tom does the vocals and everybody does the instrumentals and shit like that, where sure, heaviness is an aspect of Chelsea Grin, but it is not their only defining characteristic. There's little nuances in the music that define Chelsea Grin and separates them from another deathcore band. Maybe Chelsea Grin's a bad example because you got your deathcore stuff, I got my deathcore stuff.
Sure.
But if, let's say, a hardcore band just released a stupid heavy grimy album that was stupid heavy grimy, like over the top, right? Will you remember that over something like Vanna?
Absolutely not.
Or would that stick longer than something like Vanna? Because Vanna wasn't the world's heaviest hardcore band. They were far from it.
Yeah.
You know,
they were actually really pretty, if in a lot of ways.
And that's kind of the argument I'm getting towards. And I like the heat analogy because it kind of makes you think about the situation, right? So I like sriracha on a lot of my shit, and sure, sometimes it adds flavor, but sometimes it also masks that nice buttery goodness of something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know. It was just a thought I had, where
it's interesting, Gabe.
You know, maybe a couple dabs of hot sauce will do it some justice, but if you smother it, you know, it'll ruin it.
What would you classify as a dab of hot sauce in the music community?
In the music community?
Yeah, like...
Well, because my whole thing is you could be as heavy as you want, right?
Yeah.
But if I can't separate you from another heavy band, then we have an issue. You know what I mean? That's the argument I'm getting towards, where you can be as heavy and as massive, you know, you could be as grimy as you want at the end of the day. It's your guys' band, right? And
yeah.
I don't care what you do. But the issue comes into play when the other flavors stop coming through.
Okay.
The band needs to have personality. It needs to have some sort of character. It has defining characteristics.
Starting to see the correlation.
Do you see where I'm getting at? Because at first you were like laughing and shit. But but you see where I'm getting at though?
Yeah.
If you're heavy for the sake of being heavy without anything else shining through.
Well, that definitely. If you're so hot that you're burning off the inside of your mouth, it doesn't matter what else you got going on because
there you go.
You can't taste it. You know what I mean?
And that's what I'm trying to get at.
It's not
here.
decipherable.
So let's answer the question. I'm going to do these side by side. Do you think heat, as in spiciness, is a flavor profile?
To a limit.
And now do you think heaviness is a band character?
To a limit.
Okay. Now that's a good answer. I like that. Okay. We had a good discussion for once.
For once.
I mean, well, I had to slide it in gently because it's a bit of a weird thought. It really is.
It was abrasive.
It really is. It's abrasive like a fucking chili or a Carolina Reaper. Fun fact, he's got a new Reaper, the dude who genetically bred him. It's called Chili X or Pepper X.
Pepper X, yeah.
Pepper X.
I heard that's a bad motherfucker too.
Yeah.
All right.
So we got some album reviews talking about
God.
Heavy for the sake of being heavy.
Sure, that's exactly where I was going.
Good stuff. Talking about Kublai Khan, Texas.
So I gave it a listen, all right? And then I don't want to go too hard on them because I do like them. But as I listened through it...
Did you put on deodorant beforehand?
I did.
Okay. Well, that's new.
Yeah, definitely. I did. But as I was going through it, I can't even... It probably got like 3 songs in before it like very rapidly faded into the background. There's nothing that really like stands out at all on this particular album. And I don't want to give them too much shit for it. All right? Because I'm not the craziest Kublai Khan fan of all time. I like them. But to me, indiscernible from any previous
so
effort.
There's too much heat.
No. Not that it's just too much heat. I think it's just the same amount. If every dish has the same amount of heat, is it hot?
Or do you think this is simply unseasoned and bland? Is that the issue? You said there's nothing that sticks out from this album, right? So it's like bland chicken. It's white people chicken.
Well, no, because I think if you're a fan of this, you'll like it. But like I said,
if you're a fan of bland chicken, you'll like bland chicken. Makes sense to me.
No, but I'm saying like if you've liked everything they've done previously, which I wouldn't say they're bland in their previous efforts, just to me, once you hear something multiple times, you tune out, right? Like it's like that beeping on that fucking what's it called? That smoke detector in your house that eventually you just stop noticing, right?
Yeah, because you blow your brains out because of how fucking annoying it is.
I mean, yeah, sure. Remember that there was like a 20 episode string where that thing would go beep like every like 20 minutes.
Yeah,
and
I remember that.
Yeah.
You know what I do to fuck with my parents? I pull the thing out slightly, so it's like on a hinge, and I like tap it, and I'll go beep 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 really loud and shit as fast as you tap it.
I remember one time when I had the carbon monoxide detector, I had to pull out the battery because it was just beeping all the time. It was just going off. Then I got dizzy.
And now we're here.
Yeah, now we're here. Yeah, this is purgatory.
This is our last album. Fuck no. What did I do?
Yeah, right. I mean, it could be worse.
Okay, so what is up with this album? What do you give it? Do you think they gave it an honest shot, or do you think they cranked out an album to keep the label pleased? That was it.
That's the one. It's a 5. Completely.
5.
unremarkable.
You know who consistently gave us that blend of herbs and spices and then switched to bland chicken recently?
Who?
Upon a Burning Body. Anyway. Well, okay. Kublai Khan is a band that probably deserves more recognition on this podcast, and I'm glad you did a review because I didn't get around to it. You got any closing thoughts on it? What would you rate it?
I said 5.
5? Okay.
5 out of 10.
I think that's probably fairer than some of the other albums you've given.
Yeah, because there's definitely albums that have faded to the background harder and faster, or some albums I just didn't straight get through. Bring the Horizon. All right. Moving along.
Good stuff. So I got an album review. We did Norma Jean All Hail. Did you listen to this?
I did.
What was it that I texted you? I thought I texted you something pretty funny.
You said, hold on, let me get that pulled up.
He's pulling it up. I already know it off the top of my head. I'm going to make him look through his messages.
No, you said something about it was real.
Nobody asked Norma Jean to drop Album of the Year, but they did it with their big old hearts. They fucking did it, Jacob.
Yeah, that's what you said. That's what you said.
All right, so how do you want to approach this one?
I just want to approach it the fact that they are completely blowing everybody away right now.
Yeah, I think I don't want to say expectations were low because we've mentioned that Norma Jean has been this band that's been here, that's been there. They've been around for a very long time, and they're coming back into the main line. They're big fish again.
Yeah,
and not to say that they were never big
little fish,
right?
Little fish, yeah.
But I think this album goes to show that if you adapt and overcome and you embrace the new wave, in this instance of metalcore and of griminess, that you can crank out some of the best fucking material that Norma Jean's ever cranked out.
Correct.
Here's what I sum it up to. I love a lot of these songs, and I'm not a Norma Jean fan. Well, I wasn't a big old Norma Jean fan. Now I'm a big old Norma Jean fan. When you think about a Reuben, right? Like, you know a Reuben's going to be good.
It wouldn't be an album review without a food reference.
Right? So when you think about a Reuben, right? Like, you're like, yeah, a Reuben's really good. But
Sure.
then I feel like when you bite into it, you're like, fuck, I forgot just how good a Reuben really fucking is. And that was my experience with this album. I went in already knowing off the bat it's Norma Jean. They're seasoned. They're not green beans. They know what they're fucking doing. They're going to crank out a good album, right? And they did that through and through. And opening track, Orphan Twins, sets the fucking tempo for this just insanity that ensues for the next 45 minutes and 27 seconds.
Yeah.
I think what this album does really fucking well is pacing, because the moment it lets you go for a split fucking hair of a second and you get a chance to breathe, it yanks you right back in. And I think that this band is a good example. They did exactly what Varials did properly. They did those interludes, and there's much less in this album, that feel very natural and that feel very good as transitions into the next song. Particularly Volunteer Tooth Filing, which is disgusting first and foremost. Yeah. Which leads into my favorite track off the album, Landslide Defeater. And it is insanity right off the bat. If you thought that with any previous heavy album you were going to kick drywall in on your house, this album's going to make you go to Home Depot, line up sheets, and just drop kick like 4 sheets of drywall in a row, and then get stuck and you got to call an employee.
I was thinking about more along the lines of, like, that one outtake in,
Jackass?
one of the Jackass movies where Bam gets...
That wasn't an outtake. That was an actual skit where he goes down the 9-foot-tall half pipe into the 4 or 5 sheets and penetrates all of them.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Wouldn't be the first thing that was penetrated on Jackass.
True.
What do you think? I gave my thoughts on it. I really like this album, and I think this might just take over my feature of the year that Brendan Murphy previously held, because on Anna, the 12th song of the track, it is Garrett Russell of Silent Planet, and he does a stellar fucking job. First of all, it's great to hear him on a non-Silent Planet track. He's done these before, but I think this style very well complements his vocal strength.
Absolutely.
Nasty. Talk to me. What do you think?
So, as you mentioned, Norma Jean, veterans of the scene.
Say that 5 times real fast.
Norma Jean, veterans of the scene. Hey, that's pretty good, actually. That might be the title for the episode. Anyway, came out of nowhere, right? I like polar similarity. I'm saying it for the 4th fucking episode in a row. I liked it, but hey, it was a Norma Jean album, just the same as there was a lot of other Norma Jean albums. This one came out of nowhere and became a serious contender quickly. Now, you and I talked about some of the singles. Landslide Defeater comes to mind.
With errors.
Yeah, with errors. Safety Last. Like, there is probably the first 5 songs might be the strongest first 5 songs on any album you'll hear for this year. For sure, right? I think about 5 albums, like I said, 5 songs in, I'm like, this is going to be something special. right? Because it kept my attention all the way through. It did not fade to the background.
It's that pacing, man.
Yeah, it definitely kept me interested, kept my my attention peaked throughout. Real life emotion, right? These guys, I think there's definitely, for some bands and even bands that I enjoy like Dayseeker, where for some of them it's like it's too sanitized. Like there's a level of sanitation there.
Safe.
Yeah, that's not safe. Safe's not the word I'm looking for. But you just feel like, well, this is them recording. The drums were done separately from the guitar. Like everything was done individually.
And Norma Jean is the 0.1% of germs.
Fuck you, Gabe.
0.01% of germs, right?
That was pretty good. Yeah, but yeah, no, you're right. And there's a live quality to this. There is hey man, maybe that wasn't the cleanest take, but it sounds the best. The cleanest take isn't always the best sounding. I feel like they went with the one that was the best sounding, so as opposed to cleanest, right? And you could feel that, right? Even vocally, there's some cracks and stuff like that along the way. You're just like, yeah, it feels like I'm actually there. Like I'm fucking in the room while they're working on this project, and I'm kind of sitting there like Scott Pilgrim's girlfriend, right? And I'm kind of just fucking getting smacked in the face with sound, and I'm just like, wow, you guys are amazing. That's where I'm at right now with Norma Jean, and I've been hyping this album up for weeks. At this point, I
think it's something special when we both feel the same way about an album that
Absolutely.
isn't from a big guy like Devil Wears Prada.
This is true, for sure. This is on the same plane as a lot of my other top albums of the year so far. All right,
and it's arguably less grimy than some of the other contenders like North Lane, and Sanction.
It's definitely not the most brutal, right? For sure, it's definitely not, but when it does decide it wants to get dirty and it throws its elbow in the pit, it's the pit master. Everybody kind of steps aside. It's kind of like that 6'5", 300-pound guy in the pit. You're just like, okay, he's getting down.
He's been quiet all night long, but when his song come on, he's gonna be ham-fisting.
Yeah, he's gonna be putting people on their ass. That's Norma Jean. All right. So, damn, it's got as the weeks have gotten on, it has gotten incredibly difficult to rate albums, because it feels like, especially with the last couple of weeks, it's always one step up, or maybe one band is getting a leg on the other. It's kind of hard.
Yeah.
And maybe, just maybe, some of those top spots are getting shifted around a little bit. With this
I know mine didn't get particularly crazy shifted, but now we got Norma Jean in the mix.
Yeah.
So I gave it an 8.5.
Yeah.
What did you give it? Because you're a little bit more generous than I am.
It's a 9.
It's a 9 for you. What'd you think of the feature with Garrett?
I liked it.
Yeah, he's good, man. If I could have anybody's pipes, it'd be his.
Really?
Yeah.
You could have anybody's talent, you pick his?
Pipes, like fucking vocal cords.
No, like, yeah.
Yeah, his.
His of all people.
Yeah, I think he's a fucking madman. I think when he belts it out, it's like your stepdad coming home drunk and beating the fuck out of you for no good reason. When he belts it out, Jake, he belts it the fuck out.
I was thinking, I mean, if I could take somebody, I think it'd be Spencer Chamberlain's, but...
Sure. Yeah. Hey, man, you're entitled to your opinion. By all means you are. But sometimes when I sit there and listen to Silent Planet, it just, I don't know, man. It does something to me. It makes me feel all tingly on the inside.
Interesting.
It makes me feel like I'm going through puberty again.
For the third time.
Yeah, right?
Anyway.
So, I'm glad we both enjoyed that album because, yeah, dude, it was fucking gnarly.
Some shifting is going along, is all I'm going to say. Yeah.
Good stuff. We should probably, you should look through the Norma Jean discography and decide where this places.
Well, I've been familiar with Norma Jean for quite some time, my man. So.
Well, I'm saying that's why you should revisit.
I think it's easily the best.
Top? Okay.
Yeah,
Well, that's good to hear.
Easily the best Norma Jean album. Which who would think, like 7 albums in or whatever the fuck, that a band would be like, oh yeah, let me just smack you around with possibly the best album of our career. Thank you.
Well, Every Time I Die does it every single album.
That's a good point. That's a very good point, actually.
Each album is better than the last.
I think I texted you. I'm like, can we just get those two guys on a tour and just fucking watch everybody lose
old
their
school
mind?
giants.
Yeah, just everybody.
Well,
lose
we
their
got
mind.
Gideon, Norma Jean, and Devil Wears Prada.
That's pretty good. I'm trying to go.
If we do Zombies, Space back to back, and then I don't know, 10 other songs.
That just gave me the goosebumps because
right?
you say that out loud, I gave me the goosebumps. Interesting. All right, so we got another album review. So 1,000 Below, their effort, Gone in Your Wake. I had to look that up. I actually had to look at the screen because I forgot what it was. I listened to it. I got through it. Overall, I will say, I like these guys, right? But I will say that this is probably the second time or the second album from this group of bands, Bad Omens, and now them, where I've come off slightly disappointed. Now, I'm not saying I'm as disappointed as I was with Bad Omens because that quickly fell off my radar, right? This one I think is going to have a little bit more staying power with me. I'm not even going to say it's worse than their last album. I think it is better. I think it's a slight step forward. But the problem is I think, and it might be just me, it might be me being a little unfair, I think I gave them more hope. I think I was thinking that this would be the big jump. You
think your ROI would have been bigger?
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. That I was going to get a little bit more out of them than I did. Like I said, everything is slightly better. Slightly. And that's why it's a little bit disappointing to me. I thought that they would be better. All right. I really did. There are some standout tracks. Like the kid got pipes. He can sing, right? Straight up, he can sing. Those screams are on point. Everybody, the riffage, I like. Everything I like, but from this group in particular, I expected more. All right.
Sure. Well, what do you think is better, incremental improvements or just this massive jump between album qualities? Because if they keep improving upon it, I know, well, both of us have stock in Thousand Below. I think if they keep taking that good energy and keep stacking up the Legos on it, you know what I mean? I think it's going to add up.
I think I would rather have waited another year for a better album.
Okay.
A bigger, better album. Like I said, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of a weird feeling because I'm like I said, oh yeah, it's better, but it wasn't quite what I wanted.
So last year was the year of the newbies. This year's the year of the Titans.
Of the old man, yep. Of the old guys. Yeah, it's a strange kind of dynamic that we got going on. For me, it's a 6 out of 10. But I think if I didn't know what the last album sounded like, I think it'd be like an 8-7 easily.
Sure.
But because I know
you have that expectation.
Yeah, because I know where they came from. I don't know.
I can't remember if it was Elvis Presley or Johnny Cash, but there was a quote along the lines of your first album is always going to be your best one because you have your entire life to write it.
You've been writing it your whole life. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then your second album, you have a year or something. Right?
Yeah.
It's one of those two legends.
It's not quite the sophomore slump like if you have with like Bad Omens straight up. That's a sophomore slump to me. That's what that is, right? That kind of always kinds of flops and goes away. It's not quite that, but it's definitely falls short of expectations.
Anyway, so out of the Trinity, we were waiting on one band to, I think they're going to knock it out of the park or break up. One of those two because they've been really fucking quiet. Northern Ghost.
Yeah. It's your turn.
Yeah, show them up.
Yeah, please.
Hoping an early first quarter 2020.
Yeah. I
think is believable.
Hopefully. Because like you said, I haven't seen.
They've been quiet.
Yeah, haven't heard anything from them. But they hopefully they kind of salvage this class,
Yeah, because I mean we said 2 years ago that this is the next wave.
Because the class of '97 is looking really good right now.
Jesus.
Sorry. Couldn't help myself there. But yeah, so we'll see. I guess we'll have to wait and see. 1,000 Below, good effort, good job. It sounds good, just not where I want you to be.
Good stuff. T-minus 2 weeks to Counterparts. We're gonna fuck up some lists.
We'll see.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I got a good feeling about it.
We'll see.
I don't
know, dude. I mean, it's been so, like I mentioned it before, it's been so hard the last couple of weeks.
You're going to have a harder time organizing your top 5 than I am.
You think so?
I think my movies I'm going to have more trouble with, and your albums you're going to have more trouble with.
I've only seen like fucking 4 movies this year. So
yeah, I know.
Everything makes the top 5 at this point. You know what I mean? Just based on,
by default, everything.
By default, everything's going to make the top 5. But, yeah, I think albums is definitely going to be hard for me this year, which is good. It's a good problem to have. Because I think last year we were the plot and you all the way up until the end, and then when the end began. Yeah.
Well, you had a little bit of movement, but it was a pretty consistent 5.
Yeah, for sure. This year's got to be a little bit more interesting, I think. And I maybe had like one surprise that Last Hands they came out with something that was like really good, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. With that, you got anything else to add, Gabe?
Yeah. So the one thing I would like to see mainstream back from the 80s is just normalizing cocaine. That's it.
I thought isn't that kind of a thing already?
I don't know.
I think you're just hanging out with the wrong friends. That's why. True.
True. I ain't never told no.
Remember you would do that like a lot.
What? True.
Yeah, you would say that a lot. Oh God.
Yeah, we should bring back 2015, Gabe.
I was thinking about maybe running a podcast and just copying and pasting things that you said from other shows and be like, yeah, Gabe, maybe on a show you can't make it. What do you think?
You're going to have all these snippets of dumb shit I said?
Yeah, keep it. Let's go to Gabe now. Because every time you take a big hit on your fucking whatchamacallit?
My cloud machine.
Yeah, shit. Maybe that'll be fun. I mean, it's too much work. I definitely won't do it, but I think it'd be fun.
Hey, Dan, we got a job for you.
Right? Definitely. I would like to run a live show soon, Gabe.
Sure.
But I don't. We would have to like troubleshoot it before, because I wouldn't want you to be like, oh yeah, we're gonna do a live show, and then not have it figured out, and then have me and sitting at home just fucking
banging our heads against your desk.
Yeah, exactly. So I would like to schedule a test run soon, and so you won't have to make that haul out here every single weekend if we can nail it.
Cool.
If we can nail it. We'll see, though. But other than that, I believe that was the Second City Kids podcast for this week, Gabe.
Yeah.
Yep. So thank you guys for joining us for episode 137.
137.
We'll see you here next week for 138.
138.
But until then,
guy.
Yeah. But until then, folks, I like how you weren't even like half awake for that one. You're like, oh yeah, 137. We'll see you here next week. And until then, folks, deuces. Thank you guys for joining us this week on the Second City Kids podcast. You can like us on iTunes, Google, anywhere else podcasts are found. Any comments, questions, or concern, you can email us at secondcitykids@gmail.com. Until next week, folks, deuces.